This week on the Kinetic Crypto Show, we're gonna do things a little bit differently. I usually cover about 2 to 3 stories per episode, but with the crypto space, there's always a ton going on in the background that doesn't always get a chance to make its way into the limelight. Today, we're gonna talk about a ton of stories, even more institutional support for Bitcoin, a bunch of new companies and killer apps that launched this week in the crypto space, and why the porn industry is the pioneering force of the internet. You're gonna wanna stick around for that last bit.
Hey, pay attention on how I break this Bitcoin slang down. Check it, a Bitcoin is a currency, blockchain is technology, transactions take place on it constantly. A public key is your address, private key is your access, cash is trash, but a Bitcoin is an asset. And stacking sats is like accumulating gold, a market order sold, the hodl is the hold. A confirmation is that the transaction is back, the verification intact with minus proof of work. A bankster is a crook, amateur traders get shook. Look, the white paper is the book. And if the price is low, you bought high and got stuck. So what's luck? Cause if you got hacked, that means you got fucked. And Bcash is a clone, open source is the code. A computer running software is a node. I know you like the way I break it down, so let's take a moment to ponder. How does $1 million Bitcoin sound? Ain't nothing funny. Don't nothing move but the money.
The first story this week is that the Royal Bank of Canada is looking to build a cryptocurrency trading platform for investing and online purchases. Yes, it's the real deal. They've even filed 4 patent applications for Canada and the US as to how they plan on integrating crypto into their current banking operations. If you're a fellow Canadian, this is potentially a sigh of relief to come, considering pretty much every single major Canadian cryptocurrency exchange over the past 2 years has been an exit scam. And I know there's gonna be a ton of skeptics in the crypto space, that trusting banks with your Bitcoin or cryptocurrency kind of kills the point of it. But I think what most hardcore crypto folk fail to understand is that it's still extremely difficult for most people to even purchase cryptocurrency in the first place. Bitcoin ATMs have 10 to 15% markups, which is absolutely ridiculous, and they're kind of hard to find as well. Half the exchanges here are clearly exit scams. So if I have to trust my local bank in Canada, which, let's face it, already has all my personal information, as long as they let me have my crypto for a rainy day, stick it on a ledger, then it's fine by me. On the flip side, major American crypto exchange Coinbase is teaming up with asset custodian Kingdom Trust and Regal Assets to begin offering cryptocurrency-based individual retirement and 401k accounts in the US. An individual retirement account, or an IRA, is an investment account for individuals that lets you save and grow your money in a tax-deferred way, while a 401k is a retirement savings plan usually offered by an employer. Considering that 71% of millennials view crypto as the future of money, it makes total sense to offer these long-term investment accounts. And with a Bitcoin happening only 179 days away, there's never been a better time to start saving. It also means that the inflation rate of Bitcoin is going to be cut from 3.8% to 1.8%, making it even more scarce. But not as rare as this.
Quelle surprise la seconde boulangerie du jour réserve-t-elle à notre jury? La réponse dans le charmant village de Saint-Céré.
Speaking of things that are scarce, let's talk about something that is completely not. Internet porn. This week, PayPal abruptly cut off payment services from PornHub, leaving hundreds of thousands of models and content creators unpaid. Now, if you know anything about the porn industry, it's not one to go soft so easily. It was one of the first industries that regularly accepted Bitcoin in exchange for services. And even PornHub themselves have an exclusive partnership with the Verge cryptocurrency, which skyrocketed 42% after PayPal pulled out. But before that partnership was erected, porn companies have always been one step ahead of every internet invention brought to the mainstream. In 1994, a Dutch porn company called the Red Light District created one of the first internet-based video streaming services. YouTube was created nearly a decade later. And before PayPal, before Amazon, a man named Richard Gordon founded Electronic Card Systems, one of the first ever online credit card processors that was used to sell the Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee sex tape.
Do you want to see my new wife? Yes! This is my new wife. Pamela! You know her? Pamela, I know Pamela.
So what's the moral of the story? Don't underestimate the porn industry. They may just penetrate into the mainstream in ways that you never thought of before. And also, if my parents are watching this, I'm really sorry. You didn't do anything to deserve that. All right, last but not least, let's talk about some big launches in the crypto space. Every week there's a new hard fork or partnership, but not very often do you get a string of things launching in the crypto space that are actually usable and interesting for mainstream audiences. And this week we had 3 major launches: the Silvergate Bank IPO, the Brave Browser 1.0, and Multi-Collateral MakerDAO. So first up, Silvergate Bank officially went public on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker SI last week. And for those who don't know, Silvergate Bank is really one of the first ever institutional grade banks that exclusively services entrepreneurs in the crypto space. Some of their biggest clients are Coinbase, Kraken, Bittrex, Gemini, and they've essentially become reliable custodians for exchanges and crypto startups looking for a banking partner. See, the story is that most big banks in the US have inexplicably shuttered relationships with any sort of crypto startup. They've held up processing, or they've just been completely unreliable banking partners for any companies and entrepreneurs that have anything to do with blockchain or cryptocurrency. Silvergate has been providing major crypto players with facilitated money transfers, safe and secure cold storage of crypto assets, and a whole lot more for many years at this point. I made a video a while back about how to invest in crypto without actually investing in cryptocurrency. And I definitely add Silvergate, the SI ticker, to that list. They plan to eventually open up to individuals, and as a public company, they're a secure bet with correlation to the success of the crypto space, which you can buy from any stock brokerage account. Secondly, let's talk about Brave. I've mentioned it a couple of times on this show, but Brave is essentially a repurposed web browser that runs anywhere from 4 to 8 times faster than Safari or Google Chrome, with a built-in ad blocker that protects your information from being sold to companies like Google, Facebook, Twitter, and many more. Lots of web browsers like Google Chrome install trackers that monitor your activity and sell it to advertisers. If you've ever Googled for, let's say, an air conditioner and then you've gotten nonstop ads for it on Facebook or YouTube, it's not a coincidence. Brave blocks these trackers by default, which also speeds up your web browsing experience as well. And lastly, if you don't mind getting ads every once in a while, Brave has a system that sends you push notifications that actually pays you in cryptocurrency for seeing each ad. And best of all, these ads don't track your personal data. You can control the frequency of them and can turn them off at any time. I've been browsing with Brave on my phone and it's multiple times faster than Google Chrome. And I made something like $12 in BAT tokens in just the last month just from getting a notification ad every now and then. You can either cash that out for Bitcoin, Ethereum, or just dollars, or you can contribute it back to your favorite content creators, sort of like Patreon, to support what they're doing. Say you even like this video. I don't run ads on my YouTube, I don't sell t-shirts or run a Patreon, but if you want to support me, well, I'm not gonna beg or anything, but if you're feeling generous. And lastly, let's talk about Multi-Collateral MakerDAO. Don't worry, that's still English. One of the biggest emerging trends in cryptocurrency right now is a thing called DeFi, short for decentralized finance. It's a section of innovation that basically is looking to bring all the tools that banks use to make money into the hands of the people in a peer-to-peer way. One good use of DeFi is that it allows you to lock up your Ethereum, your Bitcoin, or your USDC and make interest off of it like a savings account, without having to have a bank and at a much higher interest rate, around 5 to 7% annually. DeFi, and more specifically MakerDAO, have also allowed people to take out loans based on their crypto holdings in a safe and transparent way. To explain it kind of simply, here's how it works. Say you have 100 shares of Disney stock, but you don't want to sell it, but you're also kind of short on cash. It'd basically be like if your bank or your brokerage said, well, you may not have that much cash, but you have all these shares of Disney, so we're gonna give you a small loan, we're gonna hold on to your Disney stock, and we'll give it back to you once you can pay the loan back. Now, replace Disney stock with Ethereum and bank or brokerage with a smart contract or line of code, and essentially what you have is MakerDAO. It lets you lock up Ethereum and take a percentage of that value out as a loan in DAI tokens, which are a cryptocurrency worth exactly $1 US. And since the loans are over collateralized, meaning that you're loaning a lot less DAI or US dollar equivalent than what you're actually backing the loans up with, They're extremely safe even if the price of Ethereum fluctuates. Now, the newest innovation in this is called multi-collateral DAI. Previously, the only way to generate these DAI or US dollar equivalent loans was to provide Ethereum. But now they're opening up the floodgates to all sorts of assets, BAT tokens, Bitcoin, and eventually the goal is to open it up to every digital asset. Maybe you've digitized the deed to your house, your gold or some stocks, or maybe even your pet show dog. With multi-collateral DAI, the idea is that whatever you have of value, as long as you can digitize it and put it on the blockchain, you can get a loan on it. And you don't have to have an ID, a bank account, live in a first world country, have a good credit score. All you need is that asset, the internet, and a crypto wallet. All right, thank you guys so much for watching the Kinetic Crypto Show this week. I hope you liked all the things that we covered. Of course, if you have any ideas for things you'd like to cover in the next week, any big news stories, please feel free to let me know. Send me a message on YouTube and I'll try and put it in the show for the next episode. If you want to support this show, as mentioned earlier, you can donate BAT tokens to the Brave browser up above. If you don't have it already, they've officially launched it, so even if you don't plan on using that BAT token feature, it's a much faster web browser than Google Chrome, and I highly recommend it. So thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.